Hello and welcome back today. So today I actually have a pretty good one. It's going to be basically, I'm going to go in and actually look up some used iMacs. I have a couple of videos on buying like a 2011 iMac, like the one right over here. 2012 iMac, you can get them really cheap, get them for $300-400 bucks, sometimes less than that. Big screens, really fancy screens on them for about $400 bucks, really good deals. You pop in an SS external drive on them and they work great. So stay tuned, I'm gonna go ahead and do some real world examples for you guys here in a couple minutes, show you what I can find right now on this date. They'll change obviously, but stay tuned and we're gonna dive into it. All right, so if you guys have watched my videos before, I actually do a lot with the iMac. I have a couple 2011s that I actually put SSDs in externally. I have them running on a Thunderbolt external drive. Super fast, screens are great. Got them for $300-400 bucks with everything included. I'm gonna go ahead and do some real world examples today. So I'm gonna dive in, actually go online, show people where I find them, and just give you maybe 2 or 3 different examples of what I think are good things to buy right now for the price. So if you're interested maybe in buying an iMac in the future, that's going to be an older one. I do have videos, obviously. Check out my videos on how to install an external SSD drive. It's super important. You don't want to run off the spinning drives. But anyways, if you guys actually do that, the systems are great and you can get them for super cheap, you know, a fourth or a fifth of the cost of a new iMac. All right, so just a huge disclaimer here. You know, when I show you these things today, they probably won't be around when you're looking for them. So if you see it and you're like, hey, I want to go buy that exact one he saw, you know, you're not going to find it because things are going to be bought already. I'm just going to kind of show you what I do. You're going to have to go do your own research and find ones like this. Just kind of showing you what's available out there. And so when you go and buy an iMac or a used iMac, you know, 2011, 2012, 2013, you're going to see what price you probably should get it for. So it's going to help you out there. But it's definitely not going to be able to, you know, pinpoint the exact one you want because they're going to be bought by the time you watch this. So go ahead and watch this and you can see kind of what prices are possible. And that's all I want to really give to people. You know, what is possible. Put the SSD drive and boot your OS externally off that through your Thunderbolt connection. Huge part of it. And you'll have a really good system for a really low cost. Alrighty, so let's get started here. I wanted to go ahead, and this is going to be more of a learning experience. It's not going to be, obviously if you come in here tomorrow or the next day, these units won't be here. But they're going to basically give you the idea of how to go ahead and search for these, you know, these older iMacs, 2011, 2012 iMacs. I tend to go for the 27-inch because they actually do a good job as far as the screen. I like the screens on them compared to the 21.5-inch. I tend to use a website called iSell iMac. It's right up here. It's an eBay store, but you can type in iSell iMac, you know, in the Google search, and it'll come and it'll basically link right to this page. They have a whole bunch of different computers you can buy that are used in here. The ones that we're interested in today is going to be this iMac over here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it'll bring up all the different used iMacs that they have. And if you go in here, like I said, we're looking for some older ones. The 2009 is a little bit too old for my liking. It is a 27-inch. You'll get a 276. So if you just want a really old system to fool around with for 276, that's 27-inch. That would be a good unit. But I'm going to dive into some more that are actually going to be a little bit easier to understand here as far as we'll get into more of the specifics. You know, there's going to be a lot you can look. There's going to be a lot of, you know, 2015s for $1,000, $1,100, which is a pretty good price. But there's a whole bunch of different units in here. And what we really want to typically do is find the ones that, you know, are going to make the most sense for the money. As we scroll down, you know, a lot of times these are going to have a lot of different ones that you can choose from. This looks like it has 73 iMacs on this page, on this website right now. Sometimes they have like 140 or something like that, so it's a lot more. But basically, and I've seen less too, so keep that in mind that you don't always have this many as well. But at the same time, here's a 2011 27-inch iMac, and it's 16 gigs of RAM, and it's grade B. So if you click on it, you know, grade B for this cost is really good. So we kind of have to dive in here and see what this one's all about. It does say, again, it's a 2.7-inch i5. I'm sorry, 2.7 gigahertz i5, 1 terabyte. It's probably a 7200 for the speed, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Grade B is important. This website does a really good job, if you look up here, of giving you a description of what the unit looks like. So you can kind of go through each of the pages here and see which, you know, if there's any scratches or if there's any type of blemishes on the machine. Grade B, I actually got a grade C through this company and it looked flawless. I mean, there's a couple little black teeny scratches on the back. Screen was perfect. They said it might be a little bit yellowish or something, but it was perfectly clear, so I'm not sure, because I ended up getting my 27-inch 2011 for about $290, which is crazy. But mine said grade C. This says grade B. So I only had 8 gigs of RAM. This has 16. So if we go down to the bottom here, this particular website does have all the pictures. They give you the model number, they give you the RAM, the video card here, 512 AMD Radeon 6770M. And then you come down to here, and it basically will give you what's wrong with this. Photos of our actual unit. Each unit is similar to condition, light scratches and scuffs on the casing. Display may be discolored, yellowish tint, but most visible on later screens only. Now granted, this has functional descriptions a 10 out of 10, and a power cord is the only thing included. So you got to keep, and this one it does say there could be potentially a little bit of yellow. Again, from my experience with them, and if you look at even this, it's very unlikely that you're going to notice it, but it's something to keep in mind. Maybe because this has got the 16 gigs of RAM and the price, maybe that's why it's that price right now. So that's one we can look at, but you may have to call them with some questions on that one. But that's $424. Here's a 2013 27-inch, which I don't want to go into right now because it's outside of our age that we want to look at. But it is an i7, 1 terabyte, 16 gigs of RAM. Actually, let's go really quickly in there. It's only $806, so it's about half off what you'd pay for a normal one. So if you go in here, for a newer one, I guess is the way you would say it. This is going to obviously have the newer screen. Up here, you're going to have the thinner bezel, thinner screen, and things like that. It's a grade B again, which is pretty much flawless when this company says it's grade B. And then this says each unit is similar condition, just very light scratches. That means it's not going to usually be on the screen at all. And this one's basically, it's got the upgraded 2048 megabyte NVIDIA GeForce GTX 775. For the video card. So that's a good one. I mean, basically, this company does have a lot of units like that. So if you're looking for a little bit newer one that's going to be able to run Mojave and things like that, this could be a good unit for you. Let's go down a little bit further. Here's an Apple. Let's see what this is all about. This is $551. It's a 2011. This is getting a little bit more than I would want to spend. For my prior videos, basically, the 2011 iMac's really good if you actually boot the OS off an external drive. Go ahead and check out some of my other videos. I do have a ton of videos on this on how to actually install an external hard drive to boot your OS off of it. You have to run through the 10 gigabit per second Thunderbolt connection, and you connect it to the system here, and then basically the system will run off of that. It'll boot right off of that SSD. It makes this system 2011 so fast that it's actually, like I said, I've had better experiences with this than the brand new MacBooks. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these things, that they definitely can still have some power. This one's getting up there though, and if we go down here again to the bottom here really quickly, this one's got 16 gigs of RAM. It's got an i7, so that's an upgrade. 16 gigs, 1 terabyte drive, and it's a 2011. Let's see what's anything wrong with it. Photos, no, it's a similar condition. Light scratches. This basically means it's perfect. I mean, I've been with this company before, so that's perfect. And then basically it comes with the power cord. So that's going to cost you about $551. That's a little bit, like I said, higher. I got mine for just under $300. So this company tends to have sales. Like this is 15% off, or these ones, they'll have sales like 25, 15, 20% off. But they always have these kind of sleeper units that you have to find. If you keep coming in here and you keep scrolling through these on a daily basis, people pick them up really quickly if they find a good one, like 2009, $339. But basically, a lot of times, here's a 2010 27-inch for $322. But basically, you can find that kind of gem, and then you have to pick it up pretty quickly because they go really quickly. So let's keep going. I didn't see too many more on this first page, and I'm sorry I'm scrolling so quickly. But I just wanted to kind of give you the example of how I do this. So if we go to page 2, I think there's one on here that I wanted to show. So here's, these are all too old for us. Again, there's some newer ones, 2014 27-inch, $1,200. This one here is probably not a bad one. So I look at this, it's on sale. It's a 2011 27-inch iMac, 2.7 gigahertz i5, 1 terabyte, 16 gigs of RAM, grade B, $381. So $381 is a pretty low cost now. And let's just see if it does have any issues on it. And I'm guessing this one might. Mine didn't, and I don't know how I got it. So it does look like this one does. I definitely have some issues on it. As you can see, the screen's got a couple, this doesn't look as, what you're looking at here is the rocks. If you look up here, it's the mountain. It's not the actual screen all scratched up, but there's a couple little scratches on there. So let's go ahead and see what's wrong with this one for a $381. Let's go down. Again, it's got basically the 1 terabyte 7200, but you're going to run off the SSD drive. You definitely want to get rid of the spinning drives on these things. It does say it's got some dark spots on the LCD, which could be a big problem there. So that's one thing that you want to check into. Obviously that could be a big issue. That's something that I might not recommend either. But again, there's a lot of these that don't come like that, and you have to find those gems. Mine, the screen was perfect, and I was able to, basically prove that after I got it, I got 2 months to make sure it was perfect and everything worked out, beautiful on the screen. So right now I would guess, by looking at all these, that this is not really the best selection that they have up there. They may have a lot of people that bought the 2011s recently or something like that, so they only have a few left. But keep checking. A lot of times you're going to find one for I would say in the 300s to low 400s in basically a mint condition. They're usually the grade C. And the reason you want to look for grade C is because usually it's not the screen, it's just the back case, and there's some little scratches on it, and those scratches can easily be removed. Not only that, they don't really affect the screen. The screen's the most important thing. So that's what I would basically check first, is the actual screen. Like something like this. Let's see if this has any issues. 2012, 27-inch. This will run Mojave, 3.2 gigahertz, i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and it says grade B plus warranty. So this one basically is going to have the updated screen, obviously. When I may say that the thinner screen, it's not going to be the thicker one that happened in 2011 to 2012. And let's go down to this one. And this one has that little light scratches. So that basically means this will be perfect functionally, 10 out of 10. Again, the 2011s you'll find definitely in the 3 to 400s. And so that's really it. So that's all I wanted to show people today. Again, please don't say you dislike the video. I'm just trying to help people out, just kind of show them how you go ahead and find a used iMac and a good place to go ahead and search on a daily basis, because they keep changing their units. In this website, again, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but they do have a whole bunch of other computers. If you go back to the homepage, I know this is more about the iMacs, but they have MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros. Anything you click on, it'll come up with a whole bunch of different used units. This has got 131 MacBook Pros, and you can see here, 2010 MacBook Pro for $211 if you just want to fool around and get into the Mac OS kind of scene. So they have a ton of 2012 $369 for a MacBook Pro. So again, these are great units just to kind of fool around with and get into, and maybe even upgrade the SSDs on these. Alrighty, so you guys can actually see what I did. So I actually went in there, I found some real world examples for you. You saw the pricing. Now I actually got the one that I have here for $280, and it was supposedly a grade C. I got it's not, it's a grade B or better. So I got lucky with this one, but I did look for weeks and weeks and weeks to try to get this. I looked for the best price, and all of a sudden it was there. I bought it. So if you guys have any tips on where to buy iMacs and buy basically any used Apple products, people that you actually have reached out to and actually purchased stuff from that's worked out really well for you, just put them in the comments. I can definitely make another video on that kind of stuff. I have a bunch too. I only did one today, and I just want to show people what I do typically when I buy these. You can even get into buying these and actually selling them if you get them cheap enough, like $280 like I got, and make a couple $100 in each of them. So some people do it as a job, some people do it as a hobby, some people just want one computer. Anyways, I just wanted to say too, I'm not like this huge Apple fanboy or anything like that. I actually have a bunch of PCs as well and things like that. So I just like it basically when I'm doing, really for video editing is number one, and for like basically going on the internet because the screens are so clear. Those are the two reasons I use it. For gaming and things like that, I do use a PC, and I'll do reviews on all different things. I do them on, cameras and PCs and Chromebooks and everything else. So stay tuned to my channel. I'll definitely do more on the Mac, but I'm going to do more all over the place. Just did one on WiseSense, which is a new WiseSense, which is a new product coming out. So you can watch that one as well. Anyways, guys, if you guys do like my reviews, I do a ton of different reviews on technology. I also do some on financial, like investing and things like that. I tend to do a lot of Mac videos, but I also do PC videos. I'm going to do some Chromebook videos. I do microphone videos, things like that. So a whole bunch of technology. So if you guys can help me out and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, it's going to definitely help me. I have about 80 subscribers right now, and I'm trying to build that up. So if you guys like it, if obviously want me to continue, I'm going to do about 2 a week of these, and just if you help me out a little bit, hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep making these until the foreseeable future. I want to do it long term, but it's hard to when you only have 80 subscribers.